In 2014, a family bought their dream home in one of America's safest neighborhoods. 3 days later, they received a letter that would turn that dream into a nightmare. The letter knew things about them, intimate details no stranger should know. And it came from someone who called themselves the Watcher. This isn't fiction. This is the true story of 657 Boulevard, where someone or something has been watching for nearly a century. And the question that haunts everyone who hears this story is simple. Who is the Watcher? Stay with me, because what happens next gets darker than you can imagine. Let's go back to June 2014. Meet Derek and Maria Broaddus, a young couple with 3 children, living the American dream. They had just closed on a gorgeous 6-bedroom Dutch colonial house at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey, for $1.3 million. This wasn't just any house. This was Maria's neighborhood. She grew up just 2 blocks away. Westfield was ranked one of the top 30 safest cities in America. Tree-lined streets, friendly neighbors, excellent schools. Picture perfect. The Broadduses were overjoyed. They hadn't even moved in yet, still renovating, still preparing. And that's when it arrived. A letter in their mailbox addressed to the new owner. The handwriting on the envelope was unusual, big, clunky, almost childlike. But inside, the letter was typed, and what it said made Maria's blood run cold. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. At first, it seemed like maybe an eccentric neighbor welcoming them. Strange, but harmless. But then it continued. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? Force within, what did that mean? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Derek and Maria read this together, their confusion turning to unease. Someone had been watching this house for generations? But it got worse. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I'm in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I am in one. Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. The writer could be anywhere. Any car. Any window. Any person walking by. But then came the part that made them truly afraid. You have children. I have seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted. The Watcher knew about their children, had been watching their children. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed to bring me your children? Young blood. The phrase hung in the air like a threat. The letter ended with a chilling question. Have they found out what's in the walls yet? In time they will. Derek and Maria were paralyzed with fear. Who was this person? How did they know so much? And what did they want? Now you might be thinking this is just some prank, right? Some neighborhood weirdo trying to scare the new family. That's exactly what the Broadduses hoped. They contacted the previous owners, the Woods family, who had lived there for 23 years. And here's where it gets interesting. The Woods admitted they had received a letter too. Just one. Right before they moved out. But they dismissed it as harmless and never mentioned it during the sale. The Broadduses went to the police. An investigation began. But before they could get answers, a second letter arrived. The second letter was worse. Much worse. The watcher wrote, "Welcome back, my friends. I asked the woods to bring me young blood, and they didn't. I asked them to fill the house, but they didn't listen to the watcher. Then came the questions that would haunt the family forever. Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you. Who am I? I am the watcher and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned their backs on me. They even blocked my view. But here's the part that sent absolute terror through the Broadduses. I see already that you have flooring and contractors. Will they be the ones to find what's in the walls? I wonder what will happen when the children are left alone in the house. Will they sleep on the second floor in the bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom so I can plan better." The watcher wasn't just observing. They were planning something. And then the most disturbing part, all the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the watcher. Maria and Derek made a decision right then and there. They would never move into 657 Boulevard. Not with their children, not ever. But they were trapped. They'd spent their life savings on this house. They couldn't afford to just walk away. They tried to sell it, but who would buy a house with an active stalker? They tried to rent it, but tenants didn't last long once they learned the truth. The Broadduses were stuck, paying mortgage on a house they couldn't live in, couldn't sell, and couldn't escape from. Remember how I started this story? A family bought their dream home, and 3 days later their nightmare began. But here's what I didn't tell you. The watcher was never caught. Not by the police investigation, not by the private investigators the family hired. Not by the FBI behavioral analysts who examined the letters. To this day, no one knows who the watcher really is. But the story doesn't end there. The case became national news. Everyone had theories. Was it a neighbor angry about new people moving in? Was it the previous owners trying to buy back the house cheap? Was it someone with a mental illness fixated on the property? The investigation uncovered some strange things. Neighbors reported seeing someone standing in the street at night, just staring at the house. Others mentioned a local man with a history of odd behavior, but nothing could be proven. In 2016, the Broadduses filed a lawsuit against the Woods family for not disclosing the watcher letters during the sale. That case was eventually dismissed. And the family finally sold the house in 2019, 5 years after buying it, for $400,000 less than what they paid. They lost nearly $500,000 and never spent a single night there. The new owners? They moved in and claimed they never received any letters from the watcher. Some people think the watcher got what they wanted. The Broaddus family was gone. Others think the new owners are simply lying to protect their investment. But here's the thing that keeps people up at night. The watcher claimed their family had been watching the house since the 1920s. If we believe that letter, the watcher in 2014 was the 3rd generation of watchers, which means whoever it was, they're probably still alive, still in Westfield, still watching. Maybe they're watching a different house now. Maybe they're watching yours. Or maybe, and this is what really haunts people, maybe the watcher was telling the truth about something being in the walls, something that was never found. The watcher case remains unsolved. 657. Boulevard still stands in Westfield, New Jersey, looking like any other beautiful home on any other quiet street in America. But everyone who knows the story sees it differently. They see the windows, all those windows the watcher mentioned. They see the street where hundreds of cars pass by every day. They wonder which one the watcher was in. Netflix made a series about this case in 2022. The Broaddus family has tried to move on, though Maria has said in interviews that she'll never feel safe again, always wondering if the watcher followed them to their new home. The truth is out there, somewhere, in that neighborhood, maybe in plain sight. What do you think? Who was the watcher? Was it a neighbor, a stalker, or something else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story gave you chills, hit that subscribe button, because next week I'm covering another unsolved mystery that's even more disturbing than this one. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, stay safe out there. Lock your doors, close your curtains, and remember, someone might be watching.